Well, it's time for episode 385 of the 3 Point Podcast. As always, we are presented by the Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center. They have some new news. Kids ages 4 to 6, they have a kids Zumba junior class coming up on November 15th. Check it out online and also check out details on Facebook at the Wellness Center. Also, I want to thank our other great partners, AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Nichols Painting, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, Shiawassee County Fair, and ALS of Michigan. Our sponsor spotlight for this podcast, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing. Whether you're buying a new home, refinancing an existing mortgage, pre-approval is your first step. Jim Woodworth and his staff, they'll help you with this or any mortgage questions, serving Michigan, Florida, Texas, Colorado, and even California. More info at successgroupmortgage.com. I'll tell you what, anybody looking to purchase a house, we have Kori and Associates, our real estate expert. And then if you need financing questions and help, Jim Woodworth is the guy, man. What a great group.
And then if you need some insurance, does Jacobs do house insurance?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. There's your home insurance too.
Yeah, I just need to save up the funds, and I already know my first, second, and third calls when the day to buy a house comes. Just gotta figure out the biggest part, which is the financing and the money of it. So
right.
Remember the service that Kori has. They will bring the moving truck.
Yep.
I remember she told us about that special service they have. So yeah,
the VIP service. Yeah, they treat their customers really good. And I don't know if you guys have been. Well, I know you haven't been in town since this has happened, Jared. Maybe you'd have. Kori's new building downtown with the new signage at the top, put up there by Agnew Graphics. Oh, beautiful, beautiful building. That place was such an eyesore when she purchased it. Kudos to her, and I can't wait to see what they get in upstairs. There's been talk about a restaurant, a brewery, a microbrew. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Every time I come into town, that's like one of my favorite things is driving by that place and seeing the progress. You're right. It was ugly, and now it might be like one of the coolest buildings like in the town. So it's awesome that they're restoring it, and I can't wait to see the finished product. Yeah, I'm with you.
Right there on the river too. And didn't she tell us a restaurant, and they have some other plans? I know you said the microbrewery, but a restaurant too, and some other stuff.
Maybe apartments, I think, at some point.
I believe there's some apartments in there too. Yeah. And then her headquarters is going to be there.
Yeah. She shared a picture, whoever runs their Facebook account shared a picture on Facebook of that. I think it was on Halloween night, and they had it lit up like orange and black. And man, I hadn't seen that sign. It's huge.
It is.
Kori and Associates right there. I mean, you can't miss it. If you're driving downtown Owasso, you won't be able to miss that. That's really cool.
I haven't seen that yet. I got to check it out. I haven't seen that yet. It sounds awesome.
It's gorgeous. She certainly knows how to market and knows where to put her advertising dollars, including 3 Point Podcast.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Kori.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, just a brief little catch up, guys. We're coming off Halloween. Anything special from you guys on the big holiday?
Oh, trick or treating. I mean, I know you just watched the grandkids. You've got some grandkids at the age of absolutely loving trick or treating. My daughter right now, she's 9, so she was all about it. We went around with some friends in the neighborhood, and I think her bag. My mother-in-law made them trick or treat bags. Her bag is, about the size of a pillowcase. It's about that size.
Right.
I had to work, so when I got out of work, I caught up with them and finished the night. Well, she ran up to me and she was like, "Daddy, my bag is so heavy." I was like, "Okay," but she handed it to me. I think it weighed like 10 pounds. It was overflowing with candy, and I was just like, "How did you get this much candy?" Meanwhile, my son is, he's only 3, so he was starting to run out of gas there towards the end of the night. But he had some too. But it was like, we have too much candy. It was like, okay, for 2 or 3 days, we're gonna eat on it, and then I'm putting it in a bag, taking it to work. That's what people do. That's the 2 or 3 days after Halloween at work. People are bringing in all the extra candy and stuff like that. But no, it was fun. It was cool seeing the neighborhood that we went to, our neighborhood. A lot of people are out trick-or-treating. I know there's been a lot of posts and people talking about trick-or-treating's dying, or, the trunk-or-treating is ruining the trick-or-treating. I don't know. This one, people had decorations out. There were some that had like basically a haunted house in their front yard, and there were people out and about. It was cool to see.
Probably where you're at, I would think in like Charlotte area is like with those high populated areas, like trick-or-treating probably is still alive. I had a wedding on Halloween actually, so I didn't get to take a look around where I'm at here in Detroit area, but it's cool to hear. It would be a sad day if trick-or-treating fully died out. I don't think it ever will, but it definitely seemed like, when I became a teenager and an adult, it definitely was definitely took a step back from what it was when I was a kid. But it's glad to hear that it's still alive and well in some places. And I saw the picture of your son. It was like an action shot. He was like, was he Iron Man? Is that what he was?
Iron Man, yeah.
It looked like he was like sprinting like from house to house.
That's why he ran out of gas pretty quick.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like
Yeah.
I still remember when like trick or treating when I was a kid. Like those are so fond memories, man. It's a blast. Like it's a good time. So
Yeah,
we're at your house. Manitou does it upright, didn't you? Haven't you told us?
Oh yeah, they have a hayride for the kids that
Right.
go house to house, and people out here do a really nice job of it. I know my next door neighbor. I mean, they set up a table right out the front of their driveway. And the mom dressed up as some sort of clown thing or something, and it was pretty cool. And you were talking about me babysitting yesterday with Parker and Sloan, and we were down there, and they're really sweet kids, and Parker goes, "Hey, Grandpa, what kind of candy bar you want? I got some good ones here." And I said, "I'll take a Reese cup." She said, "Well, here's a single one or a double one. I'll give you the double one." So
Oh, nice.
that was nice. And as I told you guys off air, they wanted to hear a few ghost stories. So you got to be a little delicate with 5 and 7-year-olds. You don't want to get too gruesome. So we told them a couple of good ghost stories. So the 5-year-old was just intently listening and asking questions.
I love that you did that, because then it's like their parents come home and then they go, why the hell aren't they sleeping? We gave them a bunch of candy and told them ghost stories.
Yep.
Yeah,
you guys' problem now. We're out.
Yep. See you later. I will say, a lot of people are doing that now. Setting up a table or something at the end of their driveway.
Right.
Maybe it's just easier instead of having kids come up to your door, your front door or whatever. Maybe it just makes it easier. We did. So because we were out and about, we left out a bucket.
Right.
And, my wife wrote a little sign. I laughed. I was like, yeah, no one's doing that. She wrote a little sign that said, "Please take one." And I was like, all right, no one's going to do that. So when we got home that night, we watched, we have one of those.
Like the ring camera?
The ring camera. We watched it. Most of the kids honestly did take a couple.
Right.
There were definitely some kids that were like just pulling handfuls. And it was funny. Like my daughter across the street, there's a girl her age that they're pretty good friends. She came over and took the most. We were like, we almost wanted to show my daughter, like, look at your friend. She's stealing all of our candy. But
if you were a Karen, you would have clipped that, posted on Facebook, and have a million views a week later. Look at these people. Like, are you serious? Like, you're exactly right. Nobody ever abides by taking one. I actually have a vivid memory when I was a kid of going to a house that was like that. They must have just put it out, fresh candy. And like 5-10 kids, I was involved in it, like it just ripping it apart, and it was gone within like literally 2 minutes of being put out on the porch. So yeah, it's kind of evil, but that's just human nature, man, at its finest when you're a kid.
I don't know. You just confessed. I hope the statute of limitations is gone right now.
There was no ring cameras then, but it definitely would have been on Facebook if it was.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, we made it through Halloween. Now we're into November, which means we're deep into football season, and we'll take a quick break, come back, talk a little football right after this. All right, guys, I'm just going to tee it up. I mean, we all had a chance to check out the Lions. As I told you, had a previous commitment, so I had to come home and watch that debacle on my DVR. But let's go ahead, tee it up, guys. What do you think?
Special teams. I mean, it's crazy to think that was what decided an NFL game, but a block kick that they returned, and then a huge that return off the rip after we had that first score was huge. I think it was huge for JJ McCarthy. It was huge for the Vikings. Just JJ McCarthy, the one like redeeming thing that like kind of made me laugh watching that game is that was exactly like the type of game he'd have at Michigan. Made a couple plays with his legs, made a big throw when he needed to. Only like 150 total yards, but played pretty well. Made a couple big time audibles at the line of scrimmage. Like it was just the perfect like Michigan type win. And that was kind of funny in a sense. Like he's still doing it to Michigan State fans, like to this day, which is half of our fan base, as Detroit Lions fans. But yeah, it just was a little bit of a disappointing loss. This offensive line, this offensive coordinator Morton, I like him. He's no Ben Johnson. I'm sorry. If we had Ben Johnson, we're winning that game. We're not going 3-and-out 3 straight times for the first time in whatever it was, like 5 years. Just this offense, it feels like it's just been very stop and starty all year. It never feels like we're in a true flow for like 4 straight quarters. other than maybe the Ravens game. It's like, I don't know if it's the offensive line. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's a little bit of all of it, but this offensive line's been very disappointing this year. And I know we lost the all-pro center, but man, I didn't think they'd take this much of a step back. It feels like we're not even in the top half of offensive lines, like in the league. It feels like we're in the bottom half. So it's just crazy how that has totally changed what our team is, what our identity is. I mean, wondering whether you're going to be able to run the ball heading into a game. Like, we haven't had to worry about that in 3-4 years. It's like, it's just kind of disappointing, and it's making me a little bit nervous. What did you guys think on the game? And then we got to talk about the trade deadline. I mean, we all love Brad Holmes, but maybe a little underwhelming.
Yeah. I think the game, I mean, you laid it out pretty good. It was just a disappointing game to watch because it didn't feel like they were after the Laporta touchdown on the first drive. It didn't feel like they were ever really in a flow. Like you said, I mean, it was 3 and outs. It was turnover, David Montgomery fumble, a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
Every kickoff to the Vikings, it seemed like they were taken back to the Lions. And I think it was 3 or 4 possessions the Vikings started in Lions territory. So, I mean, you're just putting, like you said, J.J. McCarthy in a good position. And real quick, the McCarthy thing, I see people ripping his stats, and people at work were like, why are people so like high on J.J. McCarthy? Look at only 150 yards and, all this. I'm like, listen, this is what he does. He's lost in, who cares, high school, whatever. But in his whole career as a starter, all the way back to high school, he's only lost like 4 starts, 70-4 or something crazy. And he rarely puts up that 300 yards passing, 4 touchdown passes. He rarely does that. Maybe at some point he will, who knows. But he makes the plays he has to. He does the scramble around, runs for a touchdown.
Huge play.
Right. The first touchdown to Jefferson was a dime. Addison dropped a touchdown earlier. The first throw of the game, he threw an absolute dime, and Addison dropped it. And then obviously the winning play to Naylor, who Michigan State. It's funny to see Michigan to Michigan State on that winning play. So that's just what McCarthy does. He's only had 3 starts. So we'll see if it plays out the rest of his career. But he's just kind of like he's a winning quarterback. He makes the right plays, and that's what he was doing that whole game. And I don't know. You guys have heard me rail on Jared Goff quite a bit. He's a top 5 quarterback when he's protected and when the run game is working. But man, when teams know they can blitz him, he falls down to maybe like bottom 10 in the league when he's getting blitzed. And that's what the Vikings did. It was basically stop the run and pressure Goff. And if he does make some throws, cool. And I almost wonder if more teams are going to be like, yeah, if Goff hits us on some big throws, you tip your cap. But we got to stop the run and we got to pressure him, get him off his spot. Because when you do that, the Lions offense, I mean, the Chiefs did it. The Packers did it in week 1. The Lions offense doesn't look that good. And then, now injuries. Decker, he was out a game or 2 earlier for a shoulder. He hurt his knee on Sunday, and I saw he said, like, I'm on so much pain medication. I don't even know if my knee hurts because I'm on so much pain medication for my shoulder. My knee might be even worse, so he might be done. He's already somewhat at the end of his career too, but he's still solid. Mahogany done for the year at left guard, so I don't know what they're going to do there.
Yeah.
Dan Skipper's a fan favorite, but he's not a long-term answer. He's a plug it in for a drive or 2 type of guy. So that's the one thing. I mean, we'll talk a little more about the trade deadline. I would have liked to see I know you're not going to make some big like splash adding the best left tackle in the league. I know you're not doing that, but I don't know. A little bit of depth might have been nice to see.
Well, it would have been. Just to briefly back on the game, you guys nailed it perfectly. Goff, I'm still going to be on his side for sure. But you laid it out. Their offensive line is beat up. They're not doing the job. When you have your leading rusher get 40 yards, you're in trouble. And if the Lions don't establish a running game for Goff so he can do a little play action and do some damage and have a little time, they're in trouble. And I have a few concerns too. I'm not gonna panic because the Packers just got beat. They're still in the race is going to be right down to the wire for sure.
Right.
If they can get the division, they'll be okay heading into the playoffs, even if they have one home game and then go on the road from there and then get healthy. But the biggest concern, once again, and I think every NFL market probably is talking about it the same way, got to stay healthy. And right now, these injuries are building up again. And last year we had the DBs and still have some problems there, but if this offensive line has to be patched together, I think they could be in big trouble.
Yeah. And that's what I'm just kind of sick of. In I defended Scott Harris when he didn't push all the chips in. To me, football is different. You look at the past champions. I mean, the Rams. Who else has really pushed the chips? I mean, the Eagles seem to do it. The Eagles seem to do it every year, and somehow always have more like assets to gain. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
like
that was trades every year.
That was what the bummer was seeing them get Jalen Phillips with a third rounder, and meanwhile we gave up a third rounder for T-Slaw. I don't get the T-Slaw thing. It still kind of doesn't make sense. I think he's going to be decent. There's no home for him here. We have so many goddamn weapons on offense. That was the last thing we needed. Like, in what world were we? Like, I thought when they drafted T-Slaw, it was gonna be like, okay, like we're gonna let J-Mo walk. We're gonna trade J-Mo. It's like now we just have a third string wideout that never plays less than Tim Patrick ever did. Like, so I don't understand it. That is a third round pick that the Eagles just used to get Jalen Phillips, another pass rusher, and here we are with a banged up offensive line. Like, dude, can we not give up a fourth rounder? Can we not give up anything, a second rounder? I mean, I'm looking at what these other teams are doing, pushing the chips in, getting Sauce Gardner, getting Quentin Williams, getting players like that. Like, we're just sitting there with our hands behind our back with a team that's banged up. That I'm not even sure if fully healthy can compete with the Eagles from what I've seen this year, especially when it's going to be probably outdoors at Lincoln Financial Field in the playoffs. Like, when we can't run the ball, we have all this money tied up in our running backs, and basically what we've learned is it's pretty much entirely comes down to the offensive line, whether they're successful or not, and they're fumbling. It's like, I love Brad Holmes. He's done a great job, but man, what is it with these deadlines and just like trusting the draft? And then feels like the draft, we haven't gotten anything back in the last couple of years. Like, Terrion Arnold had is probably his best game against the Vikings, and it was just like a solid game. It wasn't like he made, some game breaking plays. Like, I don't know. It just was a solid game. It's like, we need to start adding through proven players. Like, this team is ready to go. Like, I know we have a lot of money tied up in the future with our key pieces, but man, a Jalen Phillips, like somehow the Eagles seem to keep adding pieces to their already great core. Like, why are we just always behind? You have to push the chips in.
Right. Push the chips in because, Ted knows more than anyone. Lions have never won.
Right.
Lions have never been to a Super Bowl. So, like, if you're in it, if your window is right now, you would almost think that, it'd be like, okay, we're not going to trade every draft pick like the Cowboys were doing. The Jets were gaining every first round pick. Okay, maybe you're not going to do that, but you got to add at least some depth pieces. A guard, a tackle, for
secondary.
I mean, it almost seems like inevitable. Decker is probably going to get hurt. Yeah, just with knee and shoulder. It's like, geez, I don't know if he's going to be good down the stretch. So you got to add someone, you would think. But it's the trust Brad Holmes thing, because for the most part, he has he's probably hitting like 750. He's not batting 1,000, but 600, 750 with his draft. The Tesla thing, I saw Dan Campbell said like they want to get Tesla on the field more. I think as fans, we all want to, but it really is like where? Because even like Khalif Raymond comes in on offense and has some kind of good plays. Obviously, Laporta, J-Mo, St. Brown, got 2 running backs. I mean, I was going to ask you guys, Ted, you were about to jump in. Are you guys starting to get a little like this? The 2 running back thing is messing with the offense a little bit, because like we love Sonic and Nichols, but it seems like Gibbs will kind of start getting going, and then they're like, oh crap, we got to give Montgomery a drive, and then Montgomery comes in for a drive, and then he loses a fumble, and it's just kind of, and then they get Gibbs back in there, but then it's like, oh crap, we got to get Montgomery some more touches. I almost miss the days. I know this isn't how the NFL is. I almost miss the days of just having one running back. Barry Sanders gets every carry. That's it. Keep Gibbs in the whole game. I mean, just keep it that way. When he needs a quick, when he needs a breather, all right, bring the backup in. But it just seems the running back thing seems to like mess with the flow of the offense a little bit.
They've had an underwhelming year, it seems like, and I think it's the offensive line. It's they don't have the like what with Ben Johnson. I feel like they just had a better. And I don't know, did they lose a running back coach from last year? I'm not sure, but it just seems like the rhythm of them swapping in and out isn't as dialed as it was last year, where it made sense. Like, it's like you knew third quarter, hey, we need to grind it out. Like, here comes Montgomery for a full drive. It doesn't seem like there's those type of decisions being made. It seems almost kind of random when they're out there. It'll be like third and short or third and long, and Gibbs is in there pass proing, and he's horrible at pass pro. Like, there's just stuff like that just kind of makes no sense. Like how they're using these guys. It just comes down to that damn offensive line. It's bad. It seems pretty damn bad. And it's not getting any better. And so that's the bummer of it all.
I'm glad you brought up Gibbs and pass protection because, man, you don't dial up those plays when he's in there. That's where you use Montgomery. He's a little bit better blocker for sure. And back to the trade deadline, 100% agree. Is today the deadline? We're recording this on Wednesday.
I think it's done.
It's done.
Yesterday.
So they're done.
Yeah, it was yesterday. You can still sign you can still sign like free agents. Like if a guy gets released or whatever. But yeah, deadline was yesterday.
Well, they missed the boat then, man, because they need an offensive lineman, and they also wouldn't hurt to have an edge or a DB. But if you can get somebody for a third or fourth round pick, even if he's aged a little bit, to help this team, they got to win now. And when I see these teams, like you said, the Eagles, they get Jalen Phillips for a third rounder. What the hell is Lions doing here?
Right.
Now's the time.
You got to wonder if they just paid. They're paying all these dudes. Just gave Hutch the franchise basically. Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, all going to get paid in the next year also. So I wonder if there's those thoughts too. Like, hey, we're going to be paying our guys here in the next year or two. So we're holding on to our draft picks so we can draft guys that are going to be cheaper, so you got to wonder if there's that thought too.
Well, I get it. I get it. Like Gardner. Okay. 2 number 1 draft choices.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's
I wouldn't
nuts.
do that.
That's nuts. But if the Lions bring in a guy and they pay him this year, it's a finish the year out deal. So they can possibly make the Super Bowl run. You got to do it.
It feels like we've in the last couple of years, a lot of our second and third, Rakestraw has never touched the field. It's we're holding on to these assets for what they might be. Get a proven guy, add to this team. I love Brad Holmes, and I think you're exactly right, Matt. They know they got to pay some guys, so they can't bring in a Quinton Williams that's already on a big deal. It's gonna screw them. But it's would it hurt to bring in a couple fringe offensive linemen? Obviously they're not gonna be game changers, but we just need depth. Maybe give Decker a week off. My God, that's he's broken down. And that's the thing with the guy they drafted out of what was it, DeVry University in Quebec or whatever, Manu. It's that is the backup tackle, and it's he must not be ready. Which I think that's what's been kind of weird about the drafts. It feels like they've been very cute with who they've drafted.
Right.
T-Slaw, Manu, it's the weirdest players that whatever defensive lineman or linebacker they got from Boise State. It's just get the proven guys. We should have just loaded up on offensive line. Think about the Eagles. They lost a Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey. They didn't miss a beat because they freaking replaced him in the draft. It just feels like we're hoping one guy is going to fix these things. We should have just really reloaded the offensive line at this past draft. I like T-Slaw. That was a nice thing to have. He's not helping us at all right now. We can't even get the ball to JMO, let alone T-Slaw. It's it just was a bizarre draft pick. I didn't understand that one. We needed offensive linemen, and we just didn't do it this draft. We got one player, and then we're gonna do the same thing next draft. Late first rounder, he'll be a patch piece. Probably gonna have Decker maybe retire, and then it's we're just in the same spot that we already were in.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Part of the offensive line thing, Frank Ragnow retired kind of late in the offseason. That was a little bit. We don't know all the details and everything that was going on behind the scenes, but they still did draft Ratledge, in this past draft. But it almost would have been nice if Ragnow retired right after the season was done, so they would have known. All right, we've got to address offensive line. But
it'd be nice if they could get on the phone and bring him back.
Yeah, I would guess he's probably lost 50 pounds already. That'd be my first call. That's my first thought, dude. Can you do anything for us? Can you come back just for the playoffs? Maybe a couple of weeks before the playoffs. We'll take you. Who knew that he was so damn important? It really is center, the difference between being number 1 offensive line in the entire league and being 15 to 20. It's crazy how much of the drop off has been.
I saw someone post a video too. I think it was that on Twitter. He's Baldy's breakdowns or something like that. It's a former. He played in the NFL. He does little breakdown videos. But Graham Glasgow, he's a solid offensive lineman. He can play guard. He can play center. He's not Frank Ragnow. But part of it too is, we know this. Centers also call out, blitzes and coverages and blocking schemes. And he did a video, I don't know, a week or two ago, pointing out Glasgow's not holding up his end on that part of it. Like Frank Ragnow was like one of the best in the leagues of calling out blitzes, or you pick
him
up
and Jay
here,
Goff were
right.
meshed, man. They were
Yes.
dialed together.
So yeah, that's been a drop off. And now Sewell's even like getting
Hurt.
banged up.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, oh man, where are we at? Week 9 or whatever. So, I mean,
Well, they got
we
the Commanders.
already had the bye week, so we don't have that to fall
Yeah.
back on. So
Right. Well, they have the Commanders in Washington, and Daniels is out, so maybe they can regroup and get a win, because Washington has never been kind to the Lions when they travel out to DC. I had one final comment on the Lions game. That tackle by Jack Campbell was the best blitzing tackle I have ever seen, and they throw a flag on that. That was such BS.
It really is. Yeah, and I know you replied to my tweet. It's I don't know what you expect him to do in that situation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He was literally tackling JJ as he was about to throw the ball. Is he supposed to like let up? Let go of
makes
the
no
quarter?
sense.
I don't know what that was. It wasn't. It's not like that call decided the game, but like that was a terrible call.
It really was, and I don't know why that can't be reviewed and overturned.
Yeah.
You look at that, overturn it. I mean, it's crazy, but that's my last thing. I almost puked when I saw that play. All right, well, let's take another quick break and come back, talk a little college football right after this. All right, guys, the Michigan Wolverines, a home win over Purdue, 21-16, but a little bit another yawner. I mean, yeah, they're 7-2, but they still got some stuff to clean up, man. But the schedule's nice. I mean, do they have any hope, back at home against Ohio State if they keep running the table, or what do they got to do?
Here's where I'm at with it. I think they do have a chance against Ohio State. I mean, man, Ohio State's looking damn good.
Oh, yeah.
Just the demons. We know about the demons that they have in that rivalry as of late. It's like anything can happen in that game. I mean, last year was even crazier. I mean, that was the national champion we beat. So anything can happen in that game. And if you win that game, you're in the playoff. We probably got to get through Northwestern first, which is probably going to be a little dicey. I think it's at Wrigley Field.
At Wrigley.
Yeah, so that I'm worried about. But to me, this is like Bryce Underwood. And I think Bryce Underwood has been good. That was probably his worst game he's had, which is concerning considering how late it is in the year and against the opponent and at home. To me, it's just how we've been rolling all year. It feels like they haven't given him the opportunity to make mistakes, to learn lessons. It feels like they're just trying to win. They're trying to thread a needle of like trying to win games and also, develop him. It's like he's never been able to have the shackles off and really like learn and grow. It's like he's just handing it off 80 times a game, and then when you need to throw, it's like he's not prepared for it. To me, that's the problem. I haven't seen the development I was hoping for with Underwood. I still think he's a damn good player, and it wouldn't surprise me. Let's just say he left next year and went to freaking, Alabama. Like, he'd be lighting it up, I think. Just something about this offense is not doing him any favors, and in terms of development and in terms of in true production right now, it just is kind of disappointing in that sense. What do you guys think?
No, that's a good point, and that's kind of part of what I've thought about before. I don't think we've talked about it in that sense. What you just said with Underwood, we want to see the offense opened up for sure. We'd love to see him throwing the ball, 250, 300 yards passing. We'd love to see that. I don't know if Sharon Moore is ever going to have that style of offense at Michigan as long as he's head coach, but that's kind of the point of open the offense more for him, because he's got to learn, he's got to develop. And when you're kind of like treating him with kid gloves and not letting him, make some mistakes, go throw the ball 30 times so you can then go look at film and be like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. It's hard to develop when you're just, like you said, handing the ball off, because Sharon Moore's got to win games. I mean, of course, you got to win the games. Sharon Moore is there, to win the games, and the run game is one of the best in the Big Ten. So, of course, you're going to lean on the run game, but you got to develop the quarterback too, because I think I know Michigan won a national championship being a very run-heavy game, but run-heavy team, but JJ McCarthy was still a really good quarterback. Yeah. But if you want to be elite, if you want to win, a 12-team college football playoff, you're going to need more out of your quarterback. Even if they do somehow win these next 2 games and then somehow upset Ohio State, you're going to need more out of Bryce Underwood. And he is a freshman, so I don't know how long we can keep saying that, though, because remember, he was an early enrollee. Basically, the minute Belleville lost last year, he was on Michigan's campus. Right. So he's been there for a long time. He's been on campus for a while. 8 starts now? So you got to see a little more development,
Well, I think the play calling as well. I mean, if you look at the J.J. McCarthy National Championship team, they ran the ball, man. They ran the ball with quorum, and it set up play action. And I think with Marshall, and it's too bad Haynes is out, they could have had the same kind of success. You know, you don't have to have Underwood throw it 35 times a game, but what you need to do, it's got to be the element of surprise. You got to, when they're expecting to run, then you set him up for success and pass the ball. That's what they need to do. But with Haynes out, you know, they're going to have a heavy dose of Marshall now, and I don't see them changing their philosophy. So they're just going to keep grounding and impounding it as much as they can.
The only way I would hope is in the Ohio State game. If Michigan, if they win, Northwestern and then Maryland, who just fired their head coach, if you win those two games and I was talking to a buddy at work. He's a Michigan fan. He's from the Detroit area. So him and I talk Michigan football a lot. We were saying yesterday at work, we were like, if you go into that Ohio State game with everything to play for, that's, you know, you've done what you're supposed to do. You win the Ohio, you know, Jim Harbaugh did that how many times before he could find, and then he kept losing to Ohio State, you know. But if you're at that Ohio State game where it's win and you're in the Big Ten championship, and then you're going to be in the college football playoff, you've had a good season. So if you get yourself to that point, that's where I would hope they're like, hey, we got to push. We were talking about pushing all the chips in with the Lions. You got to push all the chips in. Right. If you're in that Ohio State game and Ohio State's looking like the number one, I mean, they were the number one team in the college football, the playoff rankings that just came out. You got to try and win that game. And yeah, Jordan Marshall's, I mean, he's been great, but I don't like the conservative play calling, but they're, like you said, they're 7-2. So it's hard to really complain about that, you know?
It's just like I don't know. It's just like, I watch all the games still, and, you know, I root them on. It's just, they're just boring. And it was satisfying watching them in that 2023 year, because you had you had freaking the best defensive line I've ever seen, maybe in college. And you had an offensive line that was all pros across the board. If you were doing this to good teams, this is like, we're just like, it's like if we play a good team, we can't do it. We look horrible on offense. And then we play like a Purdue, and yeah, we can rely on Jordan Marshall going like hero mode and breaking 4 tackles on a must score play like he had. Right. Like it seems like we're doing it against bad teams. If they do this against Ohio State, like, wow, like they really are like that type of team. But we haven't really seen it against an actual good team. Yeah, like a really good, like a premier team. Right. Seems like whenever we had those matchups, we've lost. Right.
Nebraska, I guess, maybe is probably the best win of the season. So,
right. And it's like, is that even, I mean, they got 3 losses now against anybody with a pulse, kind of like Michigan. So they haven't won a ranked matchup in 29 games, which is unreal. Right. But I don't know. It's just get to the Ohio State game. You know, I'm worried about these next 2 matchups for sure, especially with how we looked against Purdue. But if you get through these games, you go to Ohio State, all bets are off. Hopefully they have some wrinkles up their sleeve that we can surprise Ohio State with, because that's what we're going to need. And we're going to need Underwood to play his best game of his career.
And similar to what we were saying about McCarthy, I mean, it would be awesome to see him put up, you know, C.J. Stroud type of numbers, 300 yards, you know, like when he was at Ohio State. Just need him to throw a couple touchdowns, you know, throw 2 touchdowns and, you know, maybe rush for 50, you know, and then throw for 180, you know, something like that. Yeah. Like, you know, just open up the run game, make the pass a threat.
There you go.
So that, you know, that opens up the run game. But
well, here we are, 3 Michigan fans, and you know, we're down in the dumps a little bit about 7-2. How would you like to be on the other side, Michigan State fan? I mean, it was a pretty fun game to watch against Minnesota. They lost it in overtime, but
it was crazy.
The highlight of that game to me, and I don't know if it's because the guy is a decent looking guy, he's hyper, but Joe Rossi. He's getting all the airtime, man. He's all over the
weird. It's weird. I don't understand it. I give Jonathan Smith credit for benching Childs. Probably this freshman quarterback looked pretty solid. I know he got sacked like 7 times, but I thought he looked pretty decent.
Put up decent numbers.
Yeah. To me, here's where I'm at with Michigan State, and to me, this is what nobody's talked about. It's time for the fan base to decide what this university, what this program is. I mean, with NIL, they've lacked an NIL. The renovations, they haven't had the donors come through and donate to, you know, renovate that stadium. They're, you know, with LSU, when the donors came and said, we want Brian Kelly out, we'll pay for it. Like it was done the next day. Yeah. You have the guys like Magic Johnson, you know, man, I'm disappointed. This guy's a billionaire. dude, help,
Right.
help. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, what, this is Michigan State, who has like, a F ton of alumni. Like, it's one of the biggest colleges there is,
With
you know,
money.
numerous billionaires.
Right.
They have to decide what they're going to be. Are they going to just be a basketball school? Or are you really going to put like your balls on the table, get the money together, and try to build this thing into an actual powerhouse program? Or are you just going to be a little bro? That's what they have to decide. That's kind of, to me, what nobody is talking about. This is as much State fans want to bitch about the AD and Jonathan Smith. You guys need to fix it. Never more has it been a fan base can fix these type of things. We saw it with Michigan. We see it with Michigan basketball. Dusty May comes in and we're the number one NIL team like there is, basically. And you see the result on the floor. Like, it's time for Michigan State to start taking a little bit of accountability as a fan base. You know, they all bleed green until it comes time to hand over some green and pay some money. You got to do that. That's the world we're in. It's time for them to step up.
It is.
You know, enough of the chants, enough of the bitching about the stadium. It's up to you guys to make these changes and turn this program around. As bad as Jonathan Smith has been, it's more of a microcosm of what this program was, where you fucked up the Mel Tucker thing, somehow got out of a miracle. That should have been a mega buyout.
Right.
And you just brought in the most boring guy. You didn't give him any resources. You didn't, revamp the stadiums. The Saturday experience is terrible. It's on you guys. It's time for these Magic Johnsons of the world, the Ishbias of the world, which I know there's some sort of deal where he can't donate directly to NIL, but he can help in some ways to get this done and get him out and get a big time hire in there and give him some resources to actually succeed.
Yeah.
Right. There's a side to me that, I mean, Rossi isn't, I mean, you're spitting fire right there, Jared. I mean,
It's the reality.
Can't really add a whole lot. They need, we've talked about the splash hire. I mean, we've talked about Tony Anise, or, we've thrown around some other names, Wood, Brian Kelly, go to East Lansing, some other names. Honestly, I think they need to go the cheaper, quote unquote, cheaper route and get a young guy that's fiery and, an up and comer. Because, say you bring in a Brian Kelly, this program is an absolute mess right now. Because, if they fire Jonathan Smith, dudes are going to transfer. And, you're going to be trying to bring guys in through the transfer portal. Their recruiting classes aren't that great right now. So it's going to be a 2-3 year rebuild. Unless you find a guy like Kurt Signetti that brings in a bunch of guys from wherever he was, and they can kind of get things going. But that's what I think because bringing in Jonathan Smith, okay, yeah, he was a proven coach in the Pac-12, but it was kind of like, is this going to work in the Big Ten in East Lansing? And then obviously the demeanor and, his personality. I mean, obviously we don't know him personally. He's probably a really good football coach, but it just didn't seem like a good fit. Right. But with all these, now Auburn fired Hugh Freeze, there's some big time jobs open. Yeah, I don't know if this is the right time for Michigan State to fire a coach if they want to make a splash hire. If they're going to fire Jonathan Smith and just go get some, I don't want to say a no-namer, but, like a young up-and-comer, yeah, do that. But there are some big-time jobs open right now. I don't know if Michigan State is going to get that splash hire. But, I mean, you're spot on with I've said it before on the podcast a number of times, and I honestly, I really do believe it. I think the football building being named after Tom Izzo it just sends a bad message to, it's a basketball school. And again, I know Tom Izzo is the top of the top for Michigan State athletics and the university in general, everything he's done for that campus and everything in the community. I just think it sends a bad vibe when it's Tom Izzo football building. It just makes it seem like, Magic Johnson, Ishbia, all these dudes, they're giving money to the basketball program. They're not giving money to the football program, and it's obvious. I mean,
what did Draymond Green donate? Like $10 million or something like that? It's like that's the love you get when you have a good program and a good coach that people love. It's Jonathan Smith's not inspiring that right now. No. But at some point, these donors got to figure it out amongst themselves. It's not a pointing the finger. You guys fix it. Get him out and make a Godfather offer. This is Michigan State University, man. I mean, you have so many billionaires. It's a huge college, man. There's alumni everywhere. It's just like a Michigan.
It's an awesome college.
Yeah. It's time for you guys to take it matters into your hand, just like LSU did. And you guys make these changes. Like, I don't care about what the AD says. You need a new coach in there. And if you're just going to wait and hope that he, is rallying the troops for NIL, he doesn't seem to be doing it. So who is that big time donor who's going to make this happen? It's time for him to be gone.
Come on, Spartan administration, listen to this podcast. We've got your answers right here for sure.
I mean, what Ted, you didn't really chime in though. Like, do you think they should go after the splash hire, or do you think I see people throwing out Max Bulla, the former linebacker at Michigan State. He's a linebackers coach with Notre Dame right now.
Right.
I don't know. That might be, he's never been a head coach. So that might be a little bit of a stretch, but something along those lines.
Yeah.
Someone who understands the Big Ten, Michigan State, and isn't going to cost you $15 million a year, something crazy.
Right. They got to get the Georgia Tech coach.
I think he would be a really good fit and would be the guy to go after number one. But if they went after a young hire, it's Hartline's? I've been hearing his name.
I like that. That's a good name. I like that. Yeah. Would he take that? Like, he kind of seems like a guy almost like a Venables, where he can wait for the right job to open up like a Penn State. So
right.
Yeah, I will say this. I think they'd be foolish. I know, Jared, you made your comment about Brian Kelly. No way. No. Not Brian Kelly. Forget it.
If you brought up the Mel Tucker thing, and obviously that did not end well. Brian Kelly doesn't have a very good reputation either. Maybe not on the level of Mel Tucker, but he doesn't have a very good reputation either. So if you're trying to clean that stuff up, I don't know if Brian Kelly is the hire.
Not to me for sure.
Yeah.
All right, before we get off college football, I have a couple other quick things, guys, to tee up. Again, we have to have our weekly Ferris State chat. They put 70 on the board against Northern Michigan. Wyatt Bauer, another solid game. But the key in that one, I think, I watched it on Flow Sports, which, by the way, is pretty good. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit a step up from the NFHS video feed, but they have the radio play-by-play guys doing the call. I enjoyed it, and it was really cool to see another Corunna kid, Jaden Eddington, getting in the game. He had 5 rushes for 40 yards and a 1-yard TD. I mean, watched him run. I mean, it reminded me of him in high school, and also Cam Scattaboo. I mean, he ran over one guy completely.
It's kind of a good comp. That if you were him, that is kind of what you would have tried to aspire to be with his build. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, they keep winning, man, and every week, the Trinidad versus Wyatt, they compare their stats and they're basically equal. It's cool. You can't wait for I believe they play Saginaw Valley this week. Is that right?
They do. Yeah.
So that'll be a fun game to watch. I mean, we love Ryan Brady as well on the other side, so that'll be a good game.
That game, watching it against Northern Michigan, man, I had kind of flashbacks to 1975. I saw quite a few games with Northern and my good buddy Randy Thayer, the center, and their quarterback Steve Mariucci. Man, that was a hell of a team that won the D2 national championship. So I had a little bit of flashback feelings. I got one other thing here I'm going to throw on the table. You guys, you might think I'm nuts. You might disagree. Sports personalities on the Saturday morning show. I'm going to tell you right now, I've had enough of Dave Portnoy. This is me, a 69-year-old guy.
Weren't you loving him? You were loving him like a few weeks ago. Now you're out.
Kind of like the first week, I thought, okay, he's got some juice, but it's the same old story every week. I think he's an idiot. He's a big loudmouth bore. And Matt, I want to get your take on this because I know he's not an ESPN employee, but Pat McAfee, yes, he has hijacked College Game Day, but I think for the better. I mean, I loved it. Last week he had so much juice going, and I enjoyed the hell out of that. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't being company man, but I think McAfee was a great hire for ESPN, and Portnoy. Obviously, Fox tried to counter McAfee by bringing on Portnoy. I mean, he is who he is. I don't take him too seriously. Portnoy, he obviously is built. A mega franchise or a mega company with Barstool.
Oh yeah.
So he's good at doing that stuff. I don't take any of his commentary seriously. He's just up there on
comedy,
big,
right?
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to just, basically talk trash, on, and McAfee actually brings analysis. I think, you lose Lee Corso. Game Day had to do something because, you got Herb Street and, Desmond and the other guys are more analytical. So you had to do something to bring someone to make the show fun. So McAfee is that guy and he's great. I'm a little bit like, you're saying hijacked. He's making the show a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit too much about him. Like when you watch it, they do the opening, which I think the opening of College Game Day is one of the best opening
for sure.
30 seconds on TV. Awesome. It always gets you hyped up. Reese Davis, and then, they show the fans and the music comes on. But then McAfee does his thing for 9 minutes. It gets to be 9 or 10-10 by the time he's done doing his little opening, he's always taking his shirt off. I know he's playing to the crowd, but that's the one thing. And then, at the end of the show, when they were in Miami, he does the high dive and he's in a Speedo. The McAfee kick, the McAfee, it's a cool thing, but it's like a 20-minute segment to do the McAfee kick. And I'm just like, I appreciate all this stuff, but I'm like, I just wonder if he's making it a little too much about him instead of like the sport, college football.
There's 100% he is doing that. 100%. Now, I was trying to watch the reactions from Reese and the guys. From just watching it on the television, didn't seem like they enjoy it. I mean, Desmond's just laughing his ass off.
He is.
Yeah, I think they're both solid. I think exactly what you said. When Lee Corso left, you needed somebody to kind of pick up the mantle a little bit of the little bit of wackiness, for lack of a better term, that he brought. I didn't watch it this week. I'm on Locked-Out. I'm on YouTube TV, which, by the way, both sides, I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. My only complaint with that is there. It seems like the rights deal's up every week, man. It seems like we're battling it every week.
Right.
So I didn't get to watch. And I actually thought, like, man, it'd be solved by now. This doesn't seem like it's getting solved. So I'm just kind of waiting for that. But, I am. It's funny to hear you say that about Portnoy when you loved him last week. Now you hate him. I wonder what was the segment that kind of turned the tide for you.
It was week 1, Jared. Okay, it was a little different. He brought, like I said, some juice, and he's a Michigan guy, but it's the same old story every week with him. He's got his Michigan gear. He's on a national broadcast. Okay, you're a Wolverine. We get it. But I just think McAfee brings more to the table.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, McAfee is a dynamo. He's obviously, like, the kicking thing is the best thing every Saturday morning for sure. It's awesome. To me, with Portnoy, let's see what it looks like for that Ohio State Michigan game. Right. To me, that's where it's like, all right, let's see what hijinks, and like, it could be electric, it could be lame. I don't know. To me, that will be a good decider on if this worked or not. Is because that's what it's been building up to all year. Is that Ohio State Michigan game? So let's see if there could be some electricity to that, I think.
Well, I kind of teed it up because I'm glad Matt responded. He gave his feelings, and I know you're a Barstool guy. Are you 100% Portnoy guy?
Yeah, I like him. I mean, I don't know if I'll be lying if I said I'm tuning into the Big Noon Kickoff every week. I still don't watch it. Right. So I guess whatever that means, I'm not going to tune into everything he does. I see some of the clips, which is maybe what their goal is, to win the kind of social media type thing. But it's I don't think the show is super riveting. So I'm not like, this is awesome. Like, I can't believe you don't like it. It's like, no, it's fine.
Plus they have Urban Meyer.
Right.
I like Urban Meyer. I think Urban Meyer's funny.
I like Urban Meyer when he does the film breakdown, because he obviously he knows ball. So I like hearing him break down film. But otherwise I don't want to hear anything else he has to say.
No kidding. Well, let's take another quick break. And let's have a short potpourri along with the prep spotlight, and hopefully we'll have enough time for a little Tedertainment Tonight right after this. All right, guys, we don't have to go in a lot of long-winded stuff here, but I did want to throw down a couple notes I had. First of all, let's wrap up the baseball season. The World Series was absolutely phenomenal. Game 6 and 7, some of the best baseball I've ever seen. I got my LA Dodgers hat on. It's not that I'm a fan. I just picked it up as a souvenir when I was in LA. But you got to give credit to them. They have the highest payroll, or one of the highest payrolls. But to do what they did against that Blue Jays team, and it just goes to show you what a game of inches, man. Just the breaks that had to go against the Blue Jays did, and the Dodgers took advantage of it.
Oh, the game of inches. I mean, there was the play at the plate in Game 7 it was a force out, and it was literally inches. When you see the freeze frame, the dude, I forget who it was, sliding into home, was called out literally by inches. And if he was safe, the game would have been over. So, I mean, baseball, that's what makes it great. The game within the game type of stuff. The one shame, and it is what it is. You're not going to play these games at 2 p.m. A lot of those games just ended so late.
Yes.
So, I mean, the viewership was actually really high. So, I mean, that's good for baseball. But some of the games, I mean, there were a couple that I didn't stay up for, because it was like, I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. to watch this. I'll check in the morning. But the big thing, Yamamoto, the Dodgers pitcher who won, World Series MVP.
Unreal.
I mean, he World Series MVP. They paid him like $350 million. It's hard as a Tigers fan not to see that and be like, listen, if you're gonna get 3 wins, first pitcher in the World Series. They have 3 wins since Randy Johnson and Ted's guy, Mickey Lolich.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Tigers are going to give Tarek Skubal $300 million, it doesn't seem like they're going to. A lot of the rumblings are that they're going to trade him this winter. But if you're going to pay a pitcher $300 million, $350 million, that's what you want. Yamamoto started. He came in relief multiple times. I mean, it's the World Series. It's like, you do everything you got to do.
6 innings.
Right.
That's
that was impressive to see. Ohtani, had his moments. I mean, he's clearly the best player in the world. It was a great World Series.
One of the best I can ever remember. By the way, in baseball too, the Eras Committee Hall of Fame nominees, no Lou Whitaker again, but is it time? Hopefully, I know you'll agree with this, Matt. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, you guys know my stance. They should all those guys should be in. Carlos Delgado is on there. Roger Clemens. All these guys. If you're gonna put some in, David Ortiz and other people, you got to put them in. And like we've said before, if you have a separate wing in the Hall of Fame for you don't want to call it steroid era, but maybe call it 90s era or something like that.
Right.
Sure, do that. But to have a Hall of Fame without Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds is what are we even doing?
Agreed.
Yeah, I think they'll get in eventually once the media members who they probably pissed off are completely gone, and it's a new wave of people like my age. But yeah, they should be in. I don't really understand the Hall of Fame. What is this, like a contemporary ballot? What even is that? It was kind of confusing to me.
Yeah, it's a committee that just looks at these players from the 90s. I don't quite understand all the details of it as well, but they come up with the nominations, this committee, and that's who's getting voted in. So we'll see. Yeah. And again, I took a quick look before we come on this podcast. Whitaker is definitely getting shafted because you look at his numbers compared to Jeff Kent. Kent he was a solid player, maybe a Hall of Famer. His batting average was a little higher, but Whitaker was 5 All-Star appearances, Gold Gloves. I mean, he definitely, and that WAR stat, it's right up there. So he deserves to be in, but he's going to have to sit out for quite a while now.
What is we're Tigers fans. He should be in the Hall of Fame. We know obviously the steroids with Barry Bonds, but we know like you said, Jared, the media. A lot of people in the media didn't like Barry Bonds, but did Lou Whitaker have? Did he have any bad reputation as far why are they keeping him out?
He never talked.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and Carlton Fisk were the only two that really gave me a cold shoulder when I was trying to grab an interview. And I don't hold it against Lou. I hold it more against Carlton Fisk. He was a dick, but Lou just.
That's what he did.
Was Lou? Was he just? That's it. He just kind of kept to himself, or was he kind of a little bit of a jerk? Why is he being left off the ballot? I
think from what I would say in my experiences, I think it was just he was just quiet. I don't think he was really a jerk to the press or anything. I think he just wanted. He was in his own little world. I think it was part of his religion. He's a Jehovah's Witness, I believe, and that was part of it too. But I don't know. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Right. Yeah, you should look at the stats. Look at the numbers, So
100%.
It did take a while for the Tigers to retire his number, though, too. Even that, it's like, man, if the Tigers franchise and our fans don't appreciate this guy and get him retired, I don't know when Trammell's number got retired, but it feels like it came 10 years later for Lou. Yeah. So I don't know. That almost in itself is kind of well, you guys weren't even defending this guy. So why is the national media going to defend this guy?
Yeah, it was sad that he wasn't. It would have been just cool if he would have been inducted the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Didn't Trammell even say stuff like that? You don't talk about Alan Trammell without Lou Whitaker.
100%. Yeah. Before we get to Tedertainment Tonight, just quick thoughts on college basketball. It's underway. Michigan, 69 first half points over Oakland. I think Oakland's going to be a pretty decent team, but man, Michigan just destroyed them. They look great. And this freshman kid, McKinney, I like what I see.
Yeah, Oakland had 2 or 3 starters
out.
Right.
Yeah, they're when we had Greg Campion a couple weeks ago. He talked about the gauntlet of the schedule they have to start the season off. Their record might start off looking pretty rough, but it does seem like once they get healthy and get back, Oakland, might make another tournament here in March. But Michigan, obviously, we're November 5th. We're recording this on, so I'm not penciling them in my bracket in the Final Four. But when you look at the roster, they got size. They're starting dudes that are over 7 feet. They've got point guard. They've got, the true freshman McKinney coming off the bench. If he's going to be your sixth man coming off the bench, Dusty May is, a good coach. Obviously health, you always got to think about hopefully, healthy and all that kind of stuff. But they've got veteran guys, so they're
gonna be
on
good.
paper, they've got everything you want on paper.
Do.
It's a long season. March isn't for 5 months still. It's a long season, but man, they've got everything on paper looking good.
Well, they got the old man down in East Lansing there too. They have to deal with. Michigan State started off with a win over Colgate. Nothing really exciting in that one. They're the big key to watch Michigan State's when they match up against Calipari and Arkansas.
Well, that's what Izzo said after games. Like, if we play, like, we got a lot of work to do. I think he literally said we're gonna get our asses kicked on Saturday. So they didn't look that good. No. The Breslin was on fire, but that's expected. A couple Cohen car dunks that freaking ignited the crowd.
I love him.
With Michigan, man, you got to love Dusty May and what he's doing. I still didn't really love the Spartan, kiss thing from last year, but guess what's going to make it feel all better is when we spank Michigan State twice this year. I think they're very good. And that was I caught the 15-minute highlights, on YouTube yesterday after the game. I didn't watch it live. And when I saw that score and I didn't know that Oakland had 3 guys, I was like, holy crap, this is might be the best Michigan team ever. If we're beating Oakland by that much, holy crap. And then it's okay, they have 3 guys out. That kind of makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. But they look good. I don't know where Dusty May keeps finding these 7-footers. I think he's a UCLA transfer. That to me is just a smart way to build a team in college basketball right now. We see it with Purdue for all those years. You get that 7-footer who's a great rim protector and is just finishing around the basket at a high clip. It's your floor is raised significantly, and they got this 7'3" freaking nature, and he looks pretty damn good too. Add Yexel in there, add Trey McKinney, providing a spark off the bench. It's looking like a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, Yaxel's probably going to be, as long as he stays healthy and plays well, he's going to be first team All-American. Yeah. And you got McKinney coming off the bench, Burnett, Roddy Gale, and Cheddar. Who's
that guy's never going to graduate.
Cheddar seems like he's been there for 8 years.
28.
Yeah. Right. So they've got the veterans. They've got the stars, and what else they have? They have the feel good story. Dusty May's son is on the team.
Yeah. He got Charlie May 3 points. Yeah,
knocked down a 3-pointer. Yeah, he's on there kind of like Steven Izzo,
right.
He was on
Brad Calipari.
Yeah. Right. But you love that because that's a feel good story. If that helps Dusty May, having his son on the team and having that, that it just seems like, you don't want to get too excited again, because we're early November, but seems like if things go well, this Michigan team could be, a Final Four favorite.
Yeah, go win the Big Ten, and then you're right. It's I can't wait for the Journey mid-season piece on Dusty May and his son. It's coming with the Journey, piano theme underneath. I love that show. I don't even know if they still make it, but man, that was a great show back in the day. I wish they would keep making it because it really was good.
All right. Well, before we wrap this segment, I want to jump into a quick prep spotlight, fellas. In football, Owasso's nice season came crashing down. By the way, the prep spotlight brought to you by Jacobs Insurance Agency, but Owasso got drilled by a phenomenal DeWitt Panther team, 70-13. Quarterback Travis Moore had 4 carries, 180 yards, and 3 touchdowns, along with a first play TD pass. And the Panthers had 3 first-half pick sixes. It was all downhill from there. Trojans really have each year improved, but it was funny when I talked to their head coach Ron Tyner before the game. He said, "Yeah, we want games like this to see where we're at." Well, he got a wide open look at where they're at compared to DeWitt right now. That team is loaded in every category.
Yeah, Jared, I know you've talked about it. DeWitt's their head coach. They're one of the premier programs in Mid-Michigan, right?
State in that division,
right? You talk about it. That's if you want to see where your program stands, go up against DeWitt, and that you'll see where you're at. So yeah, still a good season for Owasso, something to build on, to show the players, hey, you put in the work. Look, we made the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I was gonna mention, Ted. I know you might have a couple more notes. We've been talking about Ludington.
I had that in my notes to tee up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
My parents actually they went to the game. They said my mom said on Wednesday or Thursday of last week they were going to drive up. There's a hill at the stadium and stuff. They were going to drive and park a car there, so they would have a car there. But when they went, it was full, all campers. They were like, there was nowhere to park. So they're like, that's okay. We'll just walk and we'll just go to the game and sit in the stadium. And they said it brought back really good memories of, like my playing days or whatever. So it's really cool environment and thing for them to do. They said it was packed, awesome environment, just a really cool game for Ludington. They didn't win. Big Rapids beat them 32-31. I guess it was just like a back and forth.
Like a great game.
Really great game. We've talked about, their head coach, Charlie Gunsel, his son is a quarterback, Cam Gunsel, going to Ferris State. He's committed to Ferris State. Threw a late interception that then set up Big Rapids, threw a touchdown with like 30 seconds left.
Minute to go, yeah.
Yeah, and, Ludington threw a Hail Mary at the end that fell short. So, a great game. It stings, for Ludington, still looking for that first playoff win, especially, with all the other storylines. But, again.
That program has never won a playoff game?
No, never won.
Wow.
They made the playoffs a number of times, but, yeah, that would have been their first playoff.
Yeah, that's a killer. And they got upset, like Freeland got upset on the other side of that district. So that's like, I think it's going to be Escanaba versus Big Rapids, which Big Rapids is going to have to make that trek up to Escanaba, I believe. So, yeah, kind of a wild district that ended up being, and a couple, kind of disappointing upsets to us. Okay. But good for the other teams.
Yep. A couple other quick ones here locally. New Lothrop continues their bounce back year. They downed Fowler 19-14. Fowler made it all the way to Ford Field last year. So Clint Galvis, get this, man. 15 playoff appearances, and they have never lost a game one in 15 years. So
pretty impressive, man.
That's very impressive.
Their team seems to be kind of like, it's like 1 week they're losing by 30 to a team that's not that good. The next week they're making a big time win, like you said, against the team that was at Ford Field last year. It's like, I don't know what to make of that team this year.
Yeah, and they're young, so watch out. Galvis has got them going again. Speaking of another good coach, John Webb of Durand picked up a win in their opener against Flint Hamady. They beat Hamady by 10, 32-22. Now they get to take on Montrose in the district finals.
It's a fun game.
2009. What's that?
That's a fun game.
Yeah, it is. It is. Montrose took care of them pretty easily earlier in the season, but Durand's got a little momentum now, and they got a backup quarterback that's in there. He played pretty well in that game Saturday, but we'll see what he can do when he goes up against the big boys of Montrose.
Did you say that's going to be in Montrose?
In Montrose, yes. Yep.
Hill McCoy Stadium, right?
Yep. Well, the
or Hill McCoy High School, maybe.
Yeah. Bob Hayes Stadium over there.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Does the Castle have a game this weekend?
Oh yeah, we got a game. We got two games, as a matter of fact. Friday night we got New Lothrop at Springport, nice. D8 matchup, and then on Saturday D7 matchup, North Muskegon at Pewamo, Westphalia.
Oh, you're calling that game, huh?
A couple good games there.
Are you doing either of those?
Nope, I'm going to be on the road in DC. Casey and Bart will be handling that.
Casey and Bart got the double dip, huh? Wow.
Yep. They're going to work hard. Well, let's take one final quick little break and just a quick Tedertainment Tonight to wrap up the podcast, boys. All right, let's start with you, Jared. I know you had one you wanted to get on the table a couple of weeks ago.
So The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix. I don't know if I would say it's a good documentary. It was just unique. It was entirely body cam footage. And basically what the story is there's these kids, I won't spoil it, but basically there's these kids that in this neighborhood that keep playing in this empty lot. And there's this crazy, Karen, I think the kids call her at some point.
That's what
crazy Karen, who just is constantly calling the cops and complaining and, going crazy over these kids playing in this empty field near her. I don't even know if it's an apartment. I don't know if it's a condo. I don't really know what it is. It just escalates from there, but it's entirely body cam footage. And I guess to me, what was wild is like, man, cops probably deal with a lot of BS like this, where it's like, why are we going here again? Like, I think they got called like 20 times, and they went there 20 times over these kids playing in this yard. And it's like, good Lord, like they got to have better things that they could be spending their time on than having to answer to these crazy calls nonstop. So it's like, it was kind of impressive to hear how the cops handle these situations, via body cam footage. And then there's like, the climax of the documentary, I guess is what you would call it. Like, it's kind of just sad to watch. And and you're watching this body cam footage, and I'm like, I don't think I should be watching this right now. Like, it just is extremely sad and depressing. And I didn't even finish it. It just was just a wild watch. It's crazy to me that we have that type of footage out there now. We saw that with, we talked in the pre-show. We saw that with the catfish story, where you saw the body cam footage of that encounter where the daughter finds out like, no, this is your mom that's been doing this. And it's just like, this is just bizarre. Like, we almost shouldn't be watching this footage right now in this moment. And that's kind of how it felt watching this documentary. Just a wild story. It's kind of crazy that this stuff happens and people actually care this much about some kids playing in a yard. But yeah, it just was a weird watch. It definitely was worth a watch just to see, a unique filmmaker, I guess if you would call it that, documentarian, putting this together. Like, it just was kind of unique how it was put together and cool.
It was well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the watch list for us. So you said you didn't finish it though?
Dude, it's a tough watch, man. You'll know exactly what part I'm talking about when you watch it. I've always said that, I'll be curious. I bet you guys probably watch this, the monster, Ed Gain story. Some of this stuff, man, I just can't stomach it. And it's like, it's tough for me to watch. So
we'll
that's what happened to me.
We'll tee that up because I have some notes on some thrillers and Monster, the Ed Gein story on Netflix. Oh boy, I'll tell you about that at another time. We're running out of time here, but yeah, I definitely I have the stomach to watch all of it. I can watch all of it, so not a problem to me. I got one thing to add before I wrap up. Wait until dark. What I was doing Sunday, where I had to DVR the Lions, went to another local production of a play at the Lebowski Center for Performing Arts. Wait until dark. It's a play based on the 1967 Alfred Hitchcock movie. It was starring Audrey Hepburn and Alan Arkin, but it was like basically a 5-6 person cast. It was really, really well done. I can't say enough again about the Lebowski Center and the productions they put on with their theater. I mean, it's basically $25 or less to get into a live performance. It's very well done, and the theater itself spectacular. So again, high praise to Owasso and the Lebowski Center and all the volunteers. And it's a volunteer thing; they don't get paid. It's just tremendous.
Yeah, I know they always have a bunch of good holiday performances too. I know they have some kid, like some children's theater stuff during the holidays and some other big holiday plays and stuff like that. So the lineup is nice.
Yeah, their Christmas production. I've said it here before. We go every year now. We get tickets right when they go on sale. It's as good as they put on at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. I mean, it's that good of talent. And it's just awesome.
Will you be doing the Polar Express this year, or is that a one-time?
I will not be doing the Polar Express ever again in my life.
What was the story? Like the kids fell asleep, and then you had there was
stranded for a couple hours or something.
It was delayed for 2 hours.
Right.
Nothing against and it wasn't the real Polar Express, so that kind of put a sour note on things. It wasn't the 1225, and then the. I shouldn't say anything else. If you can't say something nice, don't say it. So I'm not going to say anything else.
Oh man, I remember you talking about it probably like the week after.
Yeah, it was an experience, but it was a one-time experience.
Yep.
All right, let's close this out. This has been a fun one. We're brought to you by Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center. Make sure to follow the Wellness Center on Facebook. Follow, whatever you do with Facebook. They have all the details on what goes on there. Also, AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori Shook & Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Nichols Painting, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, Success Group Mortgage and Servicing, Shiawassee County Fair and ALS of Michigan. Again, just a reminder, the Z92.5 games of the week. We have district final football coming up this weekend. Friday night, Casey and Bart will be at Springport as New Lothrop will take on Springport. And then on Saturday, they'll travel over to the Westphalia area in D7 North Muskegon at Pewamo, Westphalia. That's the tee up there. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.